Mickey and Kelly, you are not sharing your music through the computer. Do you want to do that?
Yes, we do.
Let's do that. I think it'll give a little better quality and it won't mute you.
Absolutely. Where is that again? Sorry about that.
No worries. Click on the share button and then go to advanced tab at the top.
Share screen, no.
Not share screen. Go to the advanced tab at the top and then it'll give you a new selection where you can choose to share your music. So at the very, very top, there's a thing there where it says basic, and then next to basic, it says advanced. Make sure you, it's almost like a slider switch once you open the share screen.
Oh, there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Music or computer sound only?
Yep. Yeah.
There we go. Minor details, everybody. All right, I think we're just about ready to get things started.
Last thing, will you just make sure your original sound is on in the top left? It should say turn original sound off in the top left corner.
Let's see here.
And if you don't see it, don't worry about it.
You are sharing your computer sound. Stop share. No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
We see
That's okay.
Spotlight.
Yeah, next to that remove spotlight there. Yeah, if it's not there, then it's not there. That's okay.
All right. It's not there.
You're good. You're okay. Will you just really quickly click the little arrow next to mute button, and that'll open your audio. Click on open audio settings, and then just make sure your microphone is turned all the way up.
Sure. Let's see here, microphone.
Is that output volume or input volume?
The input volume should be all the way up. I think it's the input. Okay. And if it's clicked to manually adjust, then turn that off.
Got it.
Yes.
All right, so that should be helpful.
Can you hear us?
You're good to go.
Laura, you're a damn Zoom wizard.
You are.
All right.
We have you. So can everybody hear us? We're good.
Fantastic.
I'll go by the one video I think I see of people who are up right now.
That's fantastic. So for everybody, my name is Mickey.
I'm Kelly.
Thanks for joining us here at Bal Live, and this is going to be our beginners class. We're going to be running the fundamentals, and what we're going to be working on mainly is going to be our basic rhythms in Balboa and how to lead them, and even how to kind of start phrasing music so that you can get out on the dance floor as soon as you can and start practicing this stuff solo or with a partner. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to talk about some very, very basic rhythms.
Yes.
All right, rhythm number one is going to be single time, which is going to be one step for every one count. So we're going to think from here, if I started on my left foot and Kelly with her right, we'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is advanced running in place. For those of you who are watching, yes, it is that easy. All right, I'm going to turn around and do that again.
And if you haven't tried Balboa before, really think, if I were just standing in place and think that you are jogging for a moment. I don't want you to think about You wouldn't kick your feet out. You wouldn't kick them in front of you. You wouldn't be falling forward. If you were just trying to kind of lazily jog in place with your feet directly underneath your hips and your shoulders, so everything's balanced, and it gets a little bit lazier, a little bit more dropped into the floor.
We talk about this being a smooth dance, right? Imagine if you were jogging in place and you had this big kind of bounce happening. And imagine if someone gave you a piece of paper with really small type, right? And you had to read it. So you can't have the page moving, you have to keep it still, right? And so slowly but surely you even yourself down into that floor, all right? So that's gonna be rhythm number one. Rhythm number one, single time, very simple. The next rhythm we're gonna be working on is going to be our halftime rhythm. And halftime in this case is going to be one step for every 2 counts. So instead of 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, we're gonna have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Or think of this as a slow. So if we do the same thing,
yep.
I'm starting for now with my right foot, maybe starting with his left, leaders on the follower side. But we just think, for now, just stepping right underneath this. A slow,
1, 2,
a slow.
1, 2.
March, a march. And a walk, walk, a walk, walk. A step, and a step, and a step. If we kind of rotate and switch positions.
Ha,
a boom.
Ha. Right now, we want these feet right underneath us, right under our shoulders. We're stacked shoulders, hips, feet. Pa and a dook a dee pa. Right now, we are really just setting our weight right underneath our shoulders. Eventually, you'll want that step to happen right under your belt buckle, and we'll get a little bit more specific about that. But for right now, just concentrating on that step. I want to do it one more way, though. I also want to do this instead of just down, 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 down. I want to try this with a little bit of a swing. Now, the swing is going to look like this. If I take my first step leads with my left foot, and I move forward, imagine that I'm kind of swinging my arms in front of me. And because of that, my back leg swings with me and swings into my left leg. Swing, and then I swing it back the other direction. Sometimes we say, throw the ball, catch the ball. Throw the ball, catch the ball. Swing.
So notice followers on my side, if the leader is throwing the ball, that means I'm stepping back on my right foot to catch the ball. And then I throw the ball and the leader catches the ball.
Exactly. So what you'll notice is that our footwork starts moving together. We're not doing anything in opposition or mirroring. Boom, bam. But I'm moving into Kelly's space or Kelly's moving into my space. So we are going to be talking about this a little bit more when we get into our basic, but just know that when we say halftime with a swing, that's what we mean.
So just to discuss that again, when I'm thinking about that halftime motion, that step and, notice even though it takes 2 counts, we're not keeping both feet on the ground, both feet on the ground. So it's not down, down, down. There's that release in between. That step and, step and, step and. So if we think about that and as a swing or as a gather, that step and, go, and, go, ba, go. I catch it or I throw it,
2,
catch,
2, 1, 2,
go,
2, 1, 2.
We kind of switch directions,
2.
go. And notice when we gather that foot, if I think about my feet when I'm stepping back with my right, that left foot is gathering the kind of the instep, the arch of that foot, and I'll get a little bit closer there for a moment. The arch of that foot is cutting underneath. Or when I step forward, the arch of the other foot is cutting underneath. So it creates a little bit of a check mark or a V stance there. So I'm not going side to side where everything is parallel. I'm thinking of opening up my toes a little bit more and keeping it a little bit on this diagonal. Back, and that's me catching, or forward, and that's throwing the ball. Step, swing, step, swing.
Leads, be paying attention to this. It's the exact same thing on your side.
Yep.
I don't need to show it. Kelly's doing it for you right now. Mimic exactly what you're seeing.
Leaders, you would do the same thing. When you're stepping back with your right, you're gathering with the left. When you're stepping forward with the left, you're gathering with the right. Boom, ba, boom, ba.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was our single time and our half time. Now we're going to move into one more, and this is going to be a little fun one. This is going to be our quarter time step. Can we have the whole screen switched?
I think we are on the whole screen.
Oh, we are on the whole screen. That's just on ours.
And this is, when we say quarter, we mean actually like a whole note. For you musicians out there, all 4 beats.
Yes. So instead of 1 or 2, now we have 4. It's going to happen 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. For right now, let's try these just in place. Rock and step through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sway.
We talked about if you were maybe like getting into if there are any modern dancers out there, if you were some type of flowing tree in the wind.
This might have happened in kindergarten as well.
Right. That could have been either way. Thinking about the tree swaying to one side and swaying to the other side. So your foot gets there and then your body follows. The foot gets there and the body follows.
Also your hip. You're driving through with the hip, swinging over with the shoulders. Once the shoulders reach in the other direction, you know you're ready to take your next step and swing. So you have
we'll make it big for now.
4,
trees.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Out, 2, 3, 4. And if you bring those arms just a little bit further in. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step.
1, 2,
if we
3.
kind of switch directions.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4. Swing, gather, and swing, gather.
So the quarter time step, you're going to see it a lot of different ways. Eventually, this is where your slides, when you push off 2, 3, 4, push 2, 3, 4, or you swing your hips through and slide out. You'll see a lot of different variations on this. All of them are quarter time steps, right? But right now, what we'd love to do, since we have a lot of beginners with us watching this right now, is we want to put on some music so that you can dance these rhythms along with us. And we'll kind of play around with them a little bit. We might ask you to lean in a direction or lean back, right? But we're just going to be working on single, half, or quarter. So if you know the basics already, forget that you know them. We're just in the rhythm verse right now.
Yeah. So once we put on the music, we'll call out whether, again, it's our singles. And again, singles can happen in multiple directions.
Yep.
They can happen sideways. Same thing with our halftime. We worked on the idea of either just right underneath us or forward and back, but they could also happen around. They could happen in a direction, laterally, going through. Same thing with our quarter time or our whole notes as well.
Exactly.
So we'll call it out to some music just to kind of get warmed up a little bit more solo.
Absolutely. So we're going to put on some music. Everyone rise if you can, if you have some place to dance. All right.
Cameras on if you're so willing.
Yep, and we will watch you and see what's going on. Also, if you have any questions, Laura will, if you have an important question, she will be fielding the questions from the chat, and she will shout them out if they are important, right? Not that your questions would be unimportant.
If they're not, she's just going to gloss over it.
So Laura can be pretty, she's like, oof, I don't know about that one, so she might like weed out some of your questions if they're terrible. Okay, so let's get started.
I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. So putting on a nice chill tune to start.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and rise if you haven't. Kind of, even for a moment, kind of shake everything out. So if you feel kind of any tension, for us, it's a Friday evening. I don't know, wherever you are, it might be a different time of day, but make sure kind of the shoulders, even your neck and your knees, everything is nice and loose.
Here we go. Do, do, do. So, starting off with some single time. We're going to have. Already, I want you to imagine you're fanning your feet out. Lean forward. Stand up, lean back, stand up in place, maybe lean left to go right, and lean this direction. Let's move to the half. Down, 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 down. Wah, wah, boom, wah, boom, wah. ways, around and to the left, around, 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 and the other direction. And stop before you get too deep. Push backwards. And forward. All right, let's get to swing. Really swing side to side. Swing a little smaller. Keep the forward. We're going to move this way in 5, 6, 7 minutes. Wait. And 3, start. Slowly relax your elbows. Pull her right down next to you. Nice relax. 3, 4, 2, 3.
We take our steps a little bit lighter, larger step.
Always gathering. Gap and gather. Push and gather. Push and gather. Push and gather. Let's try a little slide. Slide away. Slide away. Slide away. Slide away. And boom. How about just finish up with one single? All right, very good.
And shake it up. Nice. Cool. That's one of those things as far as rhythm drills where you just put on some music and you can start with slower tempos and then gradually get faster as you go. Practicing solo, working in between all of those. So maybe doing an 8 count of singles and then an 8 count of the halftime and then an 8 count of the whole note. And we'll be getting into that actually in this class, that kind of every few counts, like making yourself, training yourself to try a different rhythm and trying it in a different direction is great to kind of expand your repertoire when it comes to your Balboa.
And for those of you taking this as a refresher, these rhythms are also how you're going to add your lines and the effects of your steps. So if you shuffle, if you make that decision to be someone who fans, or the decision to be someone who actually pushes back with that step, that's going to, how you gather. If you gather like Kelly was before with a tap, right? Or if you gather with a slide, right? How you take these steps is going to eventually decide who you are aesthetically as well.
Yeah.
So let's get into our basics. What we're going to do is we're just going to take 2 of these rhythms that we learned, and we're going to fuse them together into a little 8 count pattern. Right? We're going to start off just with some single time, and we're going to have no partner necessary for now. Right? For my leads, we're going to be stepping back with our left foot to start. When we take this step back, this is a closed position dance, and eventually you're going to want to put your legs out far. You're going to be afraid of kicking your partner. Don't do it.
Yeah, a lot of times we feel like this is safe the further our legs are out. Really, eventually with Balboa, we really want to be able to feel whether we're on one foot or whether we're gathered on the other foot. Yeah, so keep bringing everything in. Again, as Nikki said during the warm-up, when I'm thinking aesthetically about the feet, sorry, I'll get back a little bit, keeping the heels a little bit closer together and the toes a little bit more open, creating that shape. Yeah, so even when I'm shuffling and especially when I'm gathering, creating that V or that check mark shape.
Yes, we're going to be starting off leads. We're going to be taking 2 steps back, starting with our left foot. So if you watch, we're going to have a single. So these are going to be 1 count, a 1, 2. From here, we're going to have our first swinging halftime. If you remember this swinging halftime,
that throw the ball or catch the ball.
For the leads, we're going to be catching the ball on 3, 4. Right? So we're going to have this 1, 2 catch, release your weight down. So this is going to be 2 counts, single, half time. And then what you'll notice is that half time, allows you to change directions. You have that 1, 2, you have that swing into your body, and then that releases your weight and your center forward to change directions. So we're going back, back, swing, forward. Watch that one more time for the leads. From the side, back, back, swing, forward, and from the back again, back, back, swing, forward. Yeah.
Followers, we're matching that on the other side. So as the leaders are taking those first 2 steps back, back, that's bringing us forward, forward, starting with my right foot. So I'm thinking when I have my weight, I'm starting with the left foot, the right foot is free. I'm moving forward, forward, forward. And from there, that right foot is free. I'm thinking of throwing the ball and then dropping back on that 4, getting ready to move in the opposite direction. So I'm moving forward, forward, throw the ball, and drop back. Again, 5, 6, 7, and a forward and throw, release. Yep, from this direction, kind of showing the same thing for followers with that right foot. I'm moving forward and gather, release to move in the opposite direction. Back, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, gather, release.
Yeah, and when you release, really think as you release, you could keep your body moving, right? We want eventually for this to be something that you do feel on the dance floor. The faster the music gets, the more you want to actually use that weight and use that swing in your body, as opposed to just kind of doing it in place and then propelling yourself at random times. Allow the fellow to feel the swing and release from here. So imagine now that that ball is actually attached to your center. When we say center, for now, we can talk about wherever you're connecting with your partner. If you're a tall person, right, and the fellow is short, then your center is going to be lower. If you're a short person dancing with a taller fellow, it's going to, you might think of it as higher. The idea is that you're dancing with someone and you have to relate to them, you know, whatever their size or shape is, right? And so the idea and the concept of your center is dynamic when dancing with a partner. When you're alone, your center is always where it is, right? When you're with a different partner, where you are, where you're connecting with them, and where you use that balance is going to shift and change. Yes.
So we tend to avoid the idea of chest to chest because everybody's chests are at different angles.
You don't want to be a balavalanche, like falling on top of your partner, right? You want to keep yourself nice and relaxed.
So when I think about connecting with a partner, I'm just standing here. I'm slightly offset to the left of my partner. When I walk up, whatever connects where my shoulders are over my hips and they're over my feet and I still feel balanced, that's where our connection point is.
So if you do have a partner, now is a great time. We're going to think of fanning our feet open. And when you do this fan, I also want you to think that as you fan, you take your center forward. So as opposed to your feet being straight and you sinking your chest over those toes, imagine that you fan your feet and that the fan itself brings your center forward towards your partner.
Yeah, just underneath you, just standing straight.
So we're going to go ahead and meet up. We are off center from each other, right? So our feet are in between. This right arm is relaxed. We are connected, but the arm is relaxed. And the left hand as well, elbows relaxed for now, right? The more frame you use, et cetera, that's something you can decide on your own. Our personal preference is to keep the elbows relaxed so that you don't get too much tension in your body. So right now we've only done the first 4 counts, and that's what I'd like you to try. First, just relax onto the left, relax onto the right, have a little bit of a sway side to side with your partner so you can make sure that you're on the correct foot, that you're both together.
And even if you don't have a partner, even if you're dancing solo for a moment, making sure that when I'm dancing, when I'm taking a step, I can gather the foot and I feel balanced. When I take another step, I can gather the foot and I feel I'm solid, as opposed to feeling like I'm only balanced if both of my feet are grounded. Gathering right and left.
Yeah, we want to know what foot we're on.
Yeah.
So if we try this out, first leads, go ahead and lean over your left foot and then swing over your right foot. And I want you to lift your left foot off the floor to make sure that you're balanced and all your weight's on your right foot.
Follows, I can lift that right foot off the floor.
From here, we're going to do our single swing release. We're going to have our single swing release, right? Or our 3-4 is going to be our gather, release, or our throw the ball, catch the ball moment. We have step,
1,
step,
2,
swing,
3, 4.
release.
Try that again.
5, 6, 7, and a
1, 2, 3,
4.
One more time. A 5, 6, 7, and a
1, 2, 3, 4. Now from this position, if I was doing singles, I could just from here, swing, release, and do these singles all the way until my next swing and release. And this is an important note. That swing is going to be eventually what takes you in these different directions and gives you all of these options for styling and also for traveling, right? For now, we're just concentrating on these 4 counts and we're gonna replicate them on the other side. So our first half was 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now on 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm gonna step forward, forward, swing, release. Forward, forward, swing, release. So before leads, we had a catch the ball. Now we're gonna have a throw the ball on that 7, 8. So we have 1, 2, catch the ball, 1, 2, throw the ball. Notice what happens to my body. I have that swing, swing. It changes and releases on the other side so that my follow can feel that I'm changing directions. I want to go forward. I want to go back. Now, with my arms, I'm not going to be swinging my follow around side to side, right? But I want you to remember what happens to your body when you do that. Boom, that swing in, that catching. I want you to catch the follow's weight, and when you swing back the other direction, you release it, and you will allow yourself to fall back. So the whole 8 count footwork is going to be lead starting with your left foot. It's going to be left, right, gather, release, left, right, gather, release. So now we're on our left foot on that 4. 5, 6, 7 for the leads. We're going to have right, left, gather, release, and we're on our right foot. So if we do the whole thing, 5, 6, 7, and a left, right, swing, left, right, swing, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. Followers for us, again, we're moving with the leader. So we're doing the opposite of what they're doing. So when we started, again, we were throwing the ball, and then on the second half, we catch the ball. So I'm moving forward, swinging with the right foot, and then I'm swinging back with the left foot. A 1, 2, throw the ball, bump, bump, catch the ball. And again, I'm letting that affect my upper body by when I take those steps, and I'll start it here from the back. My step, I'm swinging that right foot in, releasing. That sets me straight to move back. 5, 6, I bring the left foot in and drop it forward. So I'm driving forward, swing, back, swing to move forward. The swing moves me back. Moves forward, 3, 4, a back, 6, 7. I throw the ball, I catch the ball.
So if we connect and we try this entire basic, right?
I actually have a request, Mickey. Sorry to interrupt. Could you Mickey, could you show your footwork from the back end?
Of course.
Yeah, close up.
Yep. So we have 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, swing, release, step, step, swing, release. We step, step, catch the ball, step, step, throw the ball, step, step, swing, release, step, step, swing, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Quick, quick, slow, and quick, quick, slow, and boo, ba, ba, doo, wah, boo, ba, ba, doo, wah. So these are steps, again, you'll practice over and over again. The easiest way to remember this is we have 2 singles and a half time, 2 singles and a half time. Single, single, half time. Single, single, half time. And as if you work, the more you work on those rhythms, the more you realize you can, they're all interchangeable, right? So for now, 4 changing direction, 4 changing direction. So we're gonna partner up.
Mm-hmm. If you have a partner here, go ahead. Again, all this stuff solo if you don't have a partner.
Mm-hmm. Make sure, again, leads your left arm, right arm, nice and relaxed.
Yep.
This hand is not, I'm not digging in, right? I'm keeping that elbow relaxed.
Followers, this left arm is also dropped and relaxed. I'm not trying to dig or push in with that left elbow. I'm also not kind of hanging on or trying to pull down here. If I'm a little bit taller than the leader, I might be able to reach around a little bit more. If I'm a little bit shorter than the leader, it's going to pull down. Whatever keeps your shoulders level is where I like my arms to be.
Later on, you can make some aesthetic choices, but for right now, what you don't want is you don't want your shoulders to be tilted, right, so that you're off balance when you're dancing. You want to make sure your shoulders are nice and level when you start. All right, we're going to try these steps together with a partner. And starting with the left foot again leads, relax on to the left, relax on to the right, Starting here, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, swing, release, step, step, swing, release. You can let it be really big in the beginning if you want. Woo, wah, boom, boom. So you really get used to changing directions. And then make it a little bit smaller. Woo, wah, ba, dee. And eventually, you can do this entire step without even moving. And you can still feel the swing.
That gather, use that still that throw the ball or catch the ball.
Right? It's just a smaller throw.
Right. And a smaller catch.
Exactly. So what we'd love to do is put on some music now. We're going to do this sometimes with you, then we're going to take a look, see how people are progressing, and then we're going to move on. All right? So we're going to put on some music now and do this 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. And once Mickey puts the music on, again, the first thing, whether you're solo or with a partner, we're going to take a few of those, just those half times, that slow, slow. It's a good way to kind of start a dance. Make sure you're on the same foot, on the same page with your partner. And then from there, we'll call it out. We'll start with the basic from there.
Absolutely.
Scoot back so my whole body's on there.
Start. All right.
Check your in.
5, 6, 5.
Starting with the slows.
Looking good. So,
to you brave souls out there who put your cameras on.
That's right.
Nice. So I guess I just had one note that I could see just a little bit from the connection. Everybody's doing a really nice job. It looks like with the rhythm and especially with that gather. It's more about the foot placement. This is part aesthetic, but it is also part kind of functional, especially when you're dancing with a partner. And Mickey mentioned it briefly before, but the idea when we're thinking of connecting with a partner aesthetically, but also how our centers connect, as opposed to something that when you think about dancing on a track where your feet are actually parallel, in line with your the toes are in line with the heels. Even if I were thinking about if I took a wall, for example, and if I have my feet parallel, I almost have to reach over my feet to connect with the wall. But if I open up my toes, it actually allows my center to come a little bit more forward, so I'm flush with the wall. So it's a slight difference, but aesthetically and how it feels connecting with a partner, the difference between dancing with your feet parallel or just bringing, and it's not like we're ballet dancers where it has to be 180 turn out here. You just want to think of opening up the toes a little bit while the heels are a little bit closer together, and the aesthetic of even the line with your footwork here versus dancing with your feet out here parallel makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
And I'll also say
that's
we have a lot of people dancing.
Homework for later.
You don't have to check in with the wall, even if you're dancing solo. Don't you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But just recognize that standing upright is important. We sometimes say, if you relax, we say if you slouch forward, this is like sad Balboa, proud Balboa, right? You're not doing, it's not banana, right? You don't need to like swing your hips forward, right? But just nice and relaxed and gathered, all right? So we're gonna move on. What we'd love to do is now take all of these rhythms that we did in the beginning of class. We had our single time, our half time, and our quarter time.
Our extra slow whole notes.
And start using them as patterns that you can just dance on the floor. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. We're gonna give you one easy combination. All right. The first thing we're going to work on is adding single time or ad-lib steps to our basic. Now our single time, once again, one step for every one count. It's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Again,
1,
we call this
1.
when we think about this timing. Mickey and I call it single time, one step for every one count. In Balboa, a lot of times we know them as shuffles, or just the most
which they also are.
The most basic step you could do, just 1, 1, 1.
Advanced running in place.
Yeah.
So what we're going to think of doing for round 1 is seeing, can we replace an 8 count of a basic with an 8 count of shuffles or single time, right? So we can start this just by doing it in place. And again, with a partner first, I'll just show this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now notice right now I'm not moving. I like to concentrate first, especially for beginners, on this idea that you feel the rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. And it can be very un-Balboa to say, do it big and ugly. But I want you to really feel that your follow can tell this is a single, and they can feel left, right, left, right. If that means you're a little bit big at first, that's fine. You can make yourself small and pretty later, but make sure they can feel the rhythm that's happening underneath your body, right? So for now, we're gonna do 1 basic and 1 8 count of shuffles. So if you watch, 5, 6, 7, and a basic, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we tried 2 of those in a row, 5, 6, 7, and a basic, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a basic, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? If you have a partner, I'd love you to try that with your partner as well now. So we'll do the same thing twice.
Try it again solo. If you don't have a partner, we'll scoot up a little bit.
5, 6, 7, and a basic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a basic.
I feel the swing, and then I just feel it down, 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 down.
And right now, if you can see, I really am left, right. If I overdid it, boom, 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 boom. You could see it more specifically, right? But you want to be able to translate where you are to your follow, right? For those Lindy Hoppers in the room, when you started Lindy Hop in the way back, you probably, your triples looked like some weird, in the olden times, right? You might have like had your feet way spread apart, you know? And then when you moved across, you were trying so hard to just let go, and everything you wanted to be right centered underneath you. And it was very odd and broken. Balboa is the same thing. The more you spread your feet out and the more you try to be left or right out here, the worse it's going to be. You want your feet nice and right underneath you so that you can feel that shift happening underneath you as opposed to out to the side of you, right? So just remember, keep your feet underneath your shoulders, right? Yeah. So now all we're going to do now to try the same thing, but this time we're going to see, can we take our single time in different directions? All right, and this is a great drill to do because you can start really thinking of all the different ways you can do single times. So if I do just a basic 5, 6, 7, 8.
That was ours.
I'm going to start in 5, 6, 7, 8, everybody.
Not that you couldn't do that, because you could.
Totally could. 5, 6, 7, and a basic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I try just going back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did another basic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe I try going forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a basic. Boom. Maybe I try moving around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a basic. 5, maybe the other direction. But the idea is that each time you do it, you try moving in a different way. Eventually, it's going to be more than just directions. It might be how much you lean with your body, right? Or how much you fan your foot behind you when you take the steps, right? All of these things will play a part, but for now, just working these in different directions. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So if I do that with a partner, same idea. Start with the basic, and then every 8 count, I just try something a little different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I pick a direction. Pa, ba, ba, dee, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I pick a direction. Pa, boo, ba, dee, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I pick a direction. Pa, ba, dee, ba. Now, you'll notice for me, in the way Kelly and I dance, we just lean in directions to move, and our connection tends to be an I-frame. It tends to be body to body, and we just lean in the directions we want to go. There is a lot of different connections. If that one eventually doesn't feel comfortable, there are A-frames to choose from, V-frames where you're out a little bit to the side, right? Not quite in a Lindy stance, but a little bit closer to that. And there's a lot of different ways that you can move and connect to your partner. This is just our favorite. And it also teaches you to be nice and close to your partner right in the beginning, because eventually you want those connections to happen at some point anyway.
We think of it kind of, if you thought of it as a belt-to-belt connection, because a lot of at least when we watched some of the original dancers back at the club they would dance at called Bobby McGee's, a lot of them wore a white, for whatever reason, a white top and black pants with some belts. And they used to literally their belts would line up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the heels were that high.
Yeah, the followers, stilettos, 80s stilettos were that high.
Not messing around.
But again, when we think about connecting here, if after that first basic, when Mickey's traveling backwards, that would bring me forwards. And followers, every time I take a step, I want to think about my feet are staying underneath me, as opposed to if Mickey's moving back, I don't want to let my chest get in front of my feet where I feel like I'm falling into my partner. So for me, if I start balanced, no matter what direction I'm moving, and you can practice all of this stuff solo as well. I think about when I'm leaning in a direction, moving, my feet staying with my body, as opposed to coming either in front of me or falling behind me. Balance is key, especially as we get to faster tempos. Yes. All right.
So what I'd like to do is just for about 1.5 minutes, I'm going to put on some music so that you guys can practice this just as a drill. And I do want get yourself into trouble if you already have the basics, if you've done this class before, and this is a review of your basics. See what can you do that might be a little bit different. What have you not tried, as opposed to going forward, back, and around, which are the ones that you might always do? Have you tried side to side, moving laterally?
Maybe you know hangman already. These are singles, just moving
one,
forward and back.
One. All of these things, the pushes, right? The
kind of lateral little sweeps.
Lateral sweeps, we'll call them today, right? Give yourself a shot at trying something that you have not tried before. I'm a big fan of getting in trouble when you're learning, just to get you out of the realm where you always feel safe. You want to get used to messing up being a good thing, being a way that you're learning. Yeah. All right. Otherwise, you're going to have a rough time of any dance that you learn.
Yeah, kind of test yourself. So we'll start again with you in the beginning, and then we'll leave you to your own devices. Basic, 8 counts of singles in some direction. A basic, 8 counts in a different direction.
Yep. And we're going to make the music a little slower this round. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and
we have our basic.
Try to play. And again. Let's try a different direction. Maybe try that. Go. Maybe placing around. Looking good. Looking good. All right. So, very nice.
Nice.
Cool. I will say, just as I'm watching, a couple of things to think about. One is being, especially for leads, make sure that you're not being too quiet with your body. What I mean by that is sometimes leads have a tendency to kind of be asking the question of what they're leading. They're kind of like 1, 2, you know, you're not quite sure. I want you to know, especially if you're just learning this, if you're going to get it wrong, get it 100% wrong, right? Really go for all the wrong. Let the follow feel like, yep, that's totally wrong. You know, if you make everything so small that you never really know the difference, you'll always be wondering if you're doing it right. So really let yourself, again, I say this over and over again, let yourself make those mistakes.
Yeah. Be
right?
vulnerable, yeah,
right?
in the beginning.
Be bad so that you can one day be good.
And part of that, again, for us especially, is if you do have a partner, is allowing that connection in your body to happen. The more I take my center away and just connect up here, the less information I'm going to feel.
This is kind of a Balboa block, we call it sometimes, because you're literally blocking the follow from feeling any connection. Right? And you don't see people do this so much, right? But the more you keep your center away, the more you can only feel these driving down motions, and it does hide a lot of what's out there. Sorry.
And again, for people dancing solo, I would do the same thing. Check in and think, how am I dancing when I'm moving without a partner? And ideally, even when I join up with a partner, that doesn't change. I don't then alter my body. So we want to make sure we have enough time. We want to get into our other rhythms so we can tag everything together.
Yep. So now we're going to be moving into our halftime step, which is our 1, 2, 1, 2. Same idea. If we do our basic, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Together.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in place. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you see that done with a partner, once again, we want the follow to feel when we're doing this down. So let yourself drop your weight, and keep that pulse, 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 pulse. So if I try this out with Kelly, starting out with that basic, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 4 steps, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're doing this, you could do it with a swing. woo, ba, ba, do, ba, ba, do, ba, ba, do. But just for now, just do the steps right underneath you, right, so that you can continue that motion. All right, we're going to move right along into this idea. For now, we're just going to travel this back or forward. So we're not going to think of, actually, for time, let's just go back.
I think for time's sake, actually, what we have so far, we have our basic and we have our singles. We have our basic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here follows our right foot is free, leader's left foot is free. From here, let's go into 4 slows. A slow, a slow, a slow, a slow.
Do note, leads, you can do the half time whenever you want. You don't have to do your single times and then your half times. But this is where we're taking you eventually anyway. Yeah. So just to make sure we get there.
We're running low on time.
Exactly. We're going to start with our basic single time, 8 count of singles, and then an 8 count of half time. If we do that just in place, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Let's reverse. We'll switch places and we'll do the same thing again. Basic, 8 counts of singles, and then 8 counts of the slow.
Yeah.
A 5, 6, 7, and basic. 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1,
slow,
2,
slow,
2,
slow,
2, 1, 2. Now, after you're done with that, for now, you can move right back into your basic. All right. So we're going to have, if you watch us do this with a partner, starting with our basic, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and
singles. Then we have our half.
And anytime you finish those steps, just lean backwards so that you're ready to travel back on that left foot. You don't want the followers having to guess what foot you're on and which direction you're traveling. So just at the very end, you have down, straight. Down, yeah. Down, down, and lean, right? So what we're going to try this time is we're going to see if we can pick directions. For now, I'm just going to pick them for you. I'm going to say, let's go around with the singles and then back, or let's go back with the singles and then around with the half time. So what I mean by that, just to show you, is going to be a basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're just moving around in a circle for those halftime steps. So you have back and around.
Mickey tends to, for whatever reason, because it tends to be a little bit harder actually, rotating to the left.
It's not harder.
Then rotating to the right. You can rotate in any direction. Yeah, our kind of default is to open. If you think about taking your left shoulder and pushing that left shoulder open as you're taking your slows, that's the direction we tend to go for our halftime steps.
Eventually, you want to get to those saucy Dean Raftery reverse pivots. And that's why I always go to the left, because I know eventually I'm going to teach my students how to haul around the floor.
So we'll start with our basic. We're going to go leaders going back, that brings followers forward for the singles, and then rotating whichever direction. We're going to go to the left or counterclockwise for our half times.
Yep. 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back into the basics. A boop a deep 5. Let's try that without a partner. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and the basic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and around 2,
the shoulder.
5, 6, 7, and
back into the basic. We'll try it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slow, 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 slow.
All right, so we're going to try this to some music. All right, so we're going to put it on. We'll do it with you a few times, and then we will unleash you upon the music.
Yeah. And again, once you're dancing on your own, you can pick any direction for the singles. And you can pick any direction for the slows or for the half times.
Absolutely. And think, and half, and right, face, think, half, and one more time. All right, all right. So we want to get into the last bit of this.
Yeah. I know we're pushing through, but we have one little piece, one additional piece. And then all of this, again, is great practice for you all to do on your own, whether you have a partner or whether you're solo, playing music and trying all of this.
It also gets you to be moving in different ways after lesson number one, which I think is so important. When you get out onto the floor, if all you know is your basic, you just sit there waiting to get out of it. And I feel like for the next year, it translates to you never wanting to be in your basics again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just think of your basics.
Yes, being in the basics.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to add one more little piece, and that's just going to be our halftime that we learned already, or our quarter time that we learned already.
Yeah.
Right? So far we've had our basic, single time, halftime, and then we went back to our basic. Now we're going to replace that final basic on the 4th 8 with our quarter time step with a 1, 2, 3, 4, and push 2, 3,
and again,
4.
that could be the flowing tree, 2, 3, 4. It could be a little bit larger. So thinking again of really pushing off. If I think of pushing off of my left foot
or the right foot,
or pushing off of the right foot, or you can think of it more as kind of a slide.
Slide 2, 3, 4, slide 2, 3, 4. For now, for those of you doing this for the very first time, I want you to just think of your feet staying right underneath you. So you have this sway to the side, sway to the side. So there's no forward or crazy out motions that you might learn later. For now, it's just side 2, 3, 4, side 2, 3, 4. For intermediate dancers, you can think of the first being exactly the same, a little tree sway to the side, and then from there, pushing off that foot into a slide to finish up the phrase, right? So all you're gonna do is this 1, 2, 3, 4, push 2, 3, 4. We show that from the back. We have this nice, easy, relaxed step. From here, all your weight's on that left foot, and you're gonna push off into the slide, eventually putting all of your weight backwards on your right foot so that you're ready to step back into the basic at the end. All right, so the quarter time step is, I mean, if this is the hard part, running in place,
right?
Quarter time.
Slows after that.
Yep, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Slow.
Now we're doing the same thing, but even slower. 1,
Slow.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In your mind in the beginning, this might feel like it's taking forever. Let it. The worst case scenario is you take a couple extra counts and you end up on time. The only thing I don't want you to do is rush it. I don't want you to be like on one foot and feel like you have to throw yourself into a basic. Take your time, let these things seep into your body, all right? So we're gonna have one basic, our single time, our half time, and our quarter time. So if I try this without a partner first, it's going to look like this, starting with the basic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and single time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and half time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and quarter time.
Try it again.
6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and single.
Start smaller.
A
little bit larger.
And
a little bit larger.
Boop, boop, bop. And you're ready for the basic again. Now, for the side to side, just keep it nice and easy on that line, side to side. For the other two, you can keep the backwards for the single time and the around for the half time. And the whole pattern will look like this. It's going to end up being a whole phrase, something that you can repeat if you're listening to the right music. You have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and side 2, 3, 4, side 2, 3, 4. You're ready to go. And a boop, a deep bop. And you just repeat this. As you get better and better, I always say, these things will change and morph. So your basics will become more stylized. How you move back, pop, pop, how you circle, boom, wah, how you sway, boom, wah. All of that is going to start getting more interesting the better you get. But it starts out with these nice, easy, fundamental rhythms. Yeah. So I just want to show one more time with a partner the entire thing. So starting with that basic. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Let's try it one more time. So we start with our basic. Basic. 5, 6, 7, and
back
singles.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Slows. Bum, bum,
and quarter.
bum.
Boop the deep bop. So we are ready for some music.
Yeah.
The last time. All right. So gear yourselves up. Get ready.
Get revved.
And here we go.
With a partner or solo. And if you want to challenge yourself with different directions, playing around with different stylings, whether you keep the pulses in or you keep it smooth, let's give it a shot. Together, 5, 6, 5, 7, and a bass. And single. And half. And quarter. Bass. Single. Half. And all right. Looking Nice
good,
job.
everybody.
Yeah.
So that was our fundamentals class. Thank you guys so much for joining us at Cal Bal Live. Again, this is my partner, Kelly Arsenault.
It's Mickey Fortanasce.
And if you want to hear more from us, you can reach us at kellyandmickey.com. If you have any questions about what you learned here or want to learn more, feel free to contact us. And we have so many more fantastic instructors coming up.
Yes. And thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you so much.
for manning this. Any other questions? Are we good, or any other announcements, Laura?
You are all good. Thank you so much. Y'all, if you're watching, make sure you catch our Vimeo live stream tonight. I just put it in the link in the chat in the Zoom, and it's already, if you're watching on the Facebook stream, it's already there. We also have a Zoom room, a public watch party. So if you want the best quality show, go to the Vimeo link. And if you want to hang out and watch other dancers and watch the show with other people, then go to our Zoom party. But thank you all so much. And thank you to Kelly and Mickey, and everyone's saying thank you in the chat also.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
job, everybody. Thank